The grass is always going to basically be green on the other side. So basically, what does that basically mean? And basically, what does that say for you? That says that everywhere in your life, and of course, everywhere, every aspect in your life, basically, you got growth. That means you got some green going on. So of course, green always going to basically follow. But basically, it's about the space, the state of awareness, and of course, the mentality, and of course, the way you pretty much project the image that you are basically currently in. And of course, when that comes to the conclusions of basically, we back into Aries season. Feel me? The spring equinox is basically here. The spring blossom is here. So pretty much this is your time. This is your duty, your responsibilities, and of course your goals and your dedications, and of course your motives to pretty much get off your 1-2, like the fire up off under your ass, and of course go ahead and of course harness the next 365 days that you pretty much got going on. But of course you got to focus on one day at a time, one step at a time. But of course with the moon in Aries, the sun in Aries, and Mercury in Aries, and of course Jupiter in Aries and Chiron in Aries, will basically we got about 4 planets in Aries at the moment, mainly 5 planets in Aries at the moment. This is putting us into a circumstance situation of being direct, being bold, being impulsive, and of course, not beating around the bush. See, Venus is in Taurus right now, so that basically means basically put you into a situation of a little bit of detriment when it comes to your wants, needs, and of course a different aspect, and of course a different morality of pretty much projecting the images that you are pretty much putting yourself in. Also, Aries season, you are in the process of pretty much overextending yourself, over exalting yourself wherever you have it at, and of course in your charts. Now, for instance, we got in your first house, your personal life, and of course things that you are personally interested in. You're gonna basically go to the extremes in that area, and also wherever you have that at in other charts, and of course other aspects in your areas, whether it's your Mars, your Jupiter, and things of that perspective, or your North Node, your South Node. These can also be circumstances, situations of energy that you pretty much need to go ahead and, of course, foretake and play out. But before we basically get into that, we also gonna basically break it down, of course, see where you got it at in your charts, how it's gonna basically emphasize you, and of course, what you pretty much need to do when it comes to your 1-2. But real fast, we're gonna break down Mercury in Aries. Then we're gonna basically see what's going on with your sun sign, your moon sign, of course, how you can utilize these energies and these new ways to pretty much categorize where you pretty much where you want to project yourself, and of course push yourself when moving forward. Because basically you don't want to pretty much play around or be around the bush during this time. This is time to pretty much get serious, especially knowing we about to have Pluto entering Aquarius soon. So Pluto already did this thing in Capricorn. So all Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Ascendances, you guys all went through a transformation, whether it was physically, mentally, emotionally, or in the areas. But of course, when Pluto gets into Aquarius, this is where it's going to basically get real, because it's pretty much dealing with groups, associations, organizations, and connectiveness. But before all that, we got a whole lot to go. We got a whole lot to do, a whole lot to break down. Of course, a whole lot of things to do together as a teamwork, make the dream work to pretty much get things going. But of course, we're gonna see where we got Mercury and Aries in your charts real fast. We're gonna run through that, and of course, we're gonna basically break down the other aspects and the other general perspectives when it comes to your areas and locations of what you got going on. So Mercury ruler is Gemini and Virgo. So pretty much Gemini is in Mars at the moment. It's on this cusp. It's pretty much it's gonna soon make its way to Mars and Cancer. So we are pretty much in those last decons, and we are pretty much getting ourselves ready. So with Mercury being in Aries, Mercury is pretty much the way we think, the way we communicate, how we share ideas, and of course what we push off on our day-to-day perspective. Being that in Aries, that's going to be in Aries for a good few weeks. So this is pretty much projecting the way we think, communicate in a very impulsive, very no beating around the bush. So that means we may basically say something very impulsive. We may basically not even hold back our tongue. We may basically just lash out, get into arguments, get into fights, or pretty much express what's on our mind when it comes to our traumas and things of that perspective. And of course, we're just going to be going through experiences of being bold and not pretty much holding back our tongue. We're going to be basically saying it in your face. Yeah, I said it to your face. What you going to do about it? That kind of energy, that kind of perspective. Well, we're going to run it down real fast, and we're going to break it down in your houses. Now, for instance, if you have Mercury in Aries in your first house, you're gonna be pretty much thinking and communicating in a very bold, no beating around the bush, in a very direct manner when it comes to your personal life, the personal individuals within your life, or personal people that you have personally going within your life. It's gonna pretty much be personally directly talking or pretty much coming at you. Now, when it comes to Mercury and Aries in your second house, Mercury and Aries in your second house, this is pretty much thinking to communicate in a very bold manner when it comes to the things you value, appreciate, and pleasure. Or others will pretty much directly talk about the things that they want to value or appreciate or pleasure when it comes to what you share, or when it comes to your assets. Now, if you got Mercury in Aries in your third house, this is you pushing off and receiving conversations, directness, and boldness of dealing with siblings, neighbors, environments, surroundings, groups, friends, and people that you associate yourself with. Individuals, you either gonna be pushing off these direct conversations, direct ideas, or others are gonna pretty much be pushing on direct conversations or direct ideas when it comes to your third house. Now, when it comes to your fourth house, your home, your family, and how you pretty much have conversations with them, they are going to be put into situations of pretty much being bold and direct when it comes to your conversations and private matters. And you're going to be very direct and bold when it comes to your conversations and dealing with your home, family, and private matters. And if you got Mercury and Aries in your fifth house, you're definitely gonna be talking up a storm, and of course, being very direct and bold when it comes to setting the stage, talking about things on the stage, expressing yourself on the stage, and of course, expressing your mentalities and the way you project yourself on the stage. Others will basically be doing that, also trying to get on your stage, talk on your stage, or pretty much get you off the stage. And if you have Mercury and Aries in your seventh house, this is putting you into a circumstance situation of having direct conversations and experiences and boldness and direct approaches when it comes to conversations that deal with your relationships, your peers, your one-on-one relationships, and your business relationships or experiences dealing with relationships in general. Now, if you have Mercury and Aries in your eighth house, this is direct boldness of being direct when it comes to your secrets, what secretly have been on your mind, what you are secretly conversating about, and what you are secretly discovering mentally. These conversations are real loud shout. You will basically be talking directly about your secrets, your desires, or your sexual urges, or you will be manifesting others. That's going to basically be exploding putting these things out here in front of you. Also, if you have Mercury and Aries in your ninth house, this is a direct approach towards thinking, communicating, and sharing ideas and desires and passions and motives about your experiences, your beliefs, your principles, and what you put your faith and your hope and your wishes into. Also, you'll be manifesting this from others as well. And if you have Mercury and Aries in your 10th house, you definitely gonna be talking up a stone. Of course, being very bold and direct towards communicating and talking about your status, your career, your goals, your responsibilities, your duties, your obligations, and of course, what you are pretty much putting your mentality towards and sharpening the pencil and of course the eraser when it comes to your goals, your responsibilities, and how you personally project yourself and what your statusly known for. That's gonna basically you're gonna be having bold conversations about your goals. You'll be pretty much talking about your goals, or you're gonna pretty much you're gonna create a reputation about goals and conversations about these things. These things are gonna pretty much be popping up in your mind. These things are gonna pretty much be at the forefront of your mind. It's gonna be basically on your mind heavy, and it's not gonna be too heavy to the point where it's kind of like sticking. It's just gonna basically be exploded. Like when you pretty much push down on the toothpaste on your toothbrush, you're gonna be pretty much putting that out there. And if you have Mercury and Aries in your 11th house, this is going to be bold conversations, bold publishing, bold networking conversations, bold statuses, bold posts about your groups, your friends, your acquaintances, and you're going to also manifest boldness from your groups, friends, acquaintances, and unknown individuals and unknown circumstance situations that's going to basically appear. That's going to bring out these conversations. People boldly just going to be coming up to you, approaching you out of nowhere. So be aware for those energies and those outcomes that's going to basically start grasping towards your way. And last but not least, with Mercury and Aries in your 12th house, this is going to be bold, secret conversations, bold, secret enemies, bold, secret dreams, and conversations about secrets, dealing with your dreams, imaginations, and your subconscious intakes or whatever you are pretty much receiving or pushing off. You're also going to be manifesting these things as far as what's that term? I hear voices in my head. You're gonna pretty much be going through that radio and face. I hear voices in my head. They talk to me. They tell me things, and you're gonna be pretty much going through that situation right now. When you got Mercury Aries in your 12th house, this is gonna create delusions. It's gonna be very impulsive conversations about your dreams, delusions, your imaginations, your faith, your beliefs, your spirituality, and of course what you are projecting, and of course putting yourself out there in that perspective. So there's gonna be pretty much the Mercury and Aries, and of course in a nutshell. And we're gonna basically get into your sun, your moon, and all the other aspects of how it's gonna pretty much affect you. And of course we're gonna get into the tarot card, and we're gonna basically break that down step by step. And of course we're gonna see how it's gonna pretty much hold emphasis on you